industry association formed of more than 60 companies who are all dedicated to deploying long-duration energy storage, or LDES for short, really to help with the world's decarbonisations. LDES is the ability to discharge energy continuously for 8 hours or more, and that can be electricity, heat, green hydrogen, super wide range of technology solutions out there. We're over in Abu Dhabi, fantastic event, also tied in with the IRENA General Assembly, so really meeting stakeholders, trying to advocate for the role of LDES, make sure we're raising awareness, and crucially trying to think about the policy interventions that are needed to unlock this really important resource in the energy transition. As we deploy more and more solar and wind around the world, really the bedrock of the energy transition, we're going to have to capture that energy to use it efficiently. Obviously the sun doesn't always shine and the wind doesn't always blow, so we need to capture energy, store it and use it later. As we deploy more and more of that, the length of the duration of storage that is needed increases. So that's the 1 or 2 hour battery solutions we have today are fantastic, but we need much longer solutions. And we can use established technologies like pumped storage hydropower, which there's nearly 200 gigawatts worldwide, or newer technologies which can be used in situations where pumped storage isn't appropriate. Compressed air, thermal storage, green hydrogen, and of course, and many, many different types of battery chemistries. Really important, not just for electricity, but also industrial heat. We work with a wide range of partners, trying to introduce to governments the understanding of how much LDES they're going to need as they transition, and really to try and overcome some of the key barriers to deployment. And I suppose the critical barrier is what we call long-term revenue visibility. So with any sort of infrastructure which will have a long payback period and high upfront capital costs, investors need to know how they're going to get their money back. They need visibility of that. And of course, as we all know, the energy system is incredibly dynamic at the moment. The markets are dynamic, so there's not that much certainty. What we're really all about at the moment is trying to identify those mechanisms that can help investors. We've seen it work fantastically well in other areas. We've seen, for example, offshore wind in northwestern Europe has been supported by a mechanism called contracts for difference. We've seen all sorts of regulated models applied to transmission infrastructure worldwide. We just need slight tweaks for long duration energy storage to just make sure investors, as I say, can see where they're going to get their money back and then invest, build the projects, and we can be sure of securing the energy transition. LDES can support interconnections, most obviously by deferring some investment costs, so making grids more efficient. If you've got storage in the right place on the grid, it can make sure those connections, whether they're within a country or across international boundaries, that much more efficient, timely deployment and so on. And there's many, many different ways of combining LDES with grids, with interconnectors and so on. Huge range of technologies, many opportunities to really bring those all together. We're at quite an early stage with many of the technologies. As I said, pumped storage hydropower, very widely deployed. Lithium-ion batteries, of course, increasingly widely deployed worldwide. But to get some of the more novel technologies on board, we need a combination of public and private partnerships working together, quite often public money to get those projects through the very early commercial stages, and then the private money will come in. We need to work with people like the investor community, the insurance community, the end users, the utilities, the factories and so on to really make sure it comes through. We're seeing some novel policy innovations coming through in different markets. For example, the UK has a very market-based solution called the cap and floor mechanism. In Italy, they're directly procuring LDES assets. Australia's doing work. In India, some of the states now, the utilities there, are doing their own procurement exercises. And of course, China is building gigawatts and gigawatts of everything, including long-duration energy storage, in particular pumped storage hydropower. In terms of the new technologies and where they're coming through, as an industry association, I can't say who my favorite technology is. It's like saying who your favorite child is, but lots and lots of really exciting developments really across the world. We're seeing it in Europe, in Africa, Australia, Asia, North America, and indeed South America as well.